Tune in for a tale.
All right, let's talk about one of literature's most radical and honestly most overlooked stories of self-liberation, Ella Montgomery's The Blue Castle. Now, you probably know Montgomery from Anne of Green Gables, right? Well, forget everything you think you know. This is a story about what happens when a woman decides the world isn't worth winning and she chooses to save herself instead. So, this is the bleak reality for our heroine, right on the eve of her 29th birthday. It's this moment of just absolute despair. I mean, this is rock bottom. But it's from here that one of the most incredible transformations you'll ever read is about to begin. So let's meet her. This is Valancy Sterling. In her family's eyes, and pretty much everyone else's, she's a failure, an old maid. Her life is, well, it's gray. It's this colorless existence of quiet desperation, just completely smothered by duty and what everyone else expects of her. And you know, that feeling is something I think a lot of us can still recognize today. Her entire world is basically a prison, and it was built by her own oppressive family, the Sterling clan. I mean, they suffocate her with their judgments, from little snide remarks about her being scrawny to these really cruel jokes about her still being single. Every single part of her life is policed, just to maintain the family's rigid, respectable image. You know, Valancy's whole life is defined by fear. She's afraid of her mother's disapproval, she's afraid of being poor, she's terrified of offending her powerful relatives, and then there's this deep, gnawing fear of dying alone and totally unloved. Fear is her constant companion, and it has her completely paralyzed. Her only way out? It's a secret internal world she calls her Blue Castle. Inside this imaginary fortress, she isn't the meek, overlooked Doss her family calls her. No way. In there, she's a hero. She's loved, she's admired, and she's living a life full of beauty and adventure. It is literally the only place she has ever been free. But then, something changes. A nagging pain around her heart forces her to commit her first real act of rebellion. She goes to see a doctor, in secret, breaking every single family rule. A few days later, a letter arrives from the doctor, and when she opens it, Valancy believes she is reading her own death sentence. She has, at most, 1 year left to live. And this, right here, is where the story gets so brilliant. It's this amazing paradox. The ultimate fear, the fear of imminent death, completely frees her from her lifelong fear of living. I mean, if she's gonna die anyway, who cares what her family thinks? It really makes you think about how often we wait for some kind of crisis to finally give ourselves permission to live. So, with absolutely nothing left to lose, Valancy starts to systematically tear down the prison of her life. She is no longer afraid, and her transformation from this timid little mouse into a roaring lion is just shocking to everyone around her. And her rebellion? It is swift and it is decisive. First, she just unloads on her horrified relatives, telling them exactly what she thinks of them. Then, she moves out, deliberately choosing a life that just spits in the face of her family's precious respectability. Right? She trades the clan's rigid, suffocating rules for a life of real, authentic purpose. She is done pretending. She's done being afraid. For the first time, she's choosing what's real and meaningful over what's just considered proper. So in this new life, way out on the fringes of society and far away from the judgment of her family, she starts to find the connection and the freedom that she had only ever dreamed of inside her imaginary castle. And it's there that she finds this unexpected ally, a kindred spirit, in the town pariah, a guy named Barney Snaith. He also lives outside the rules of society, and in him she finally finds someone who sees her, the real Valancy, not the failure her family made her out to be. Believing she only has a few months left to live, Valancy takes the ultimate leap. She asks Barney to marry her, just so she can spend her last days in happiness and freedom. And together, they start to build a life completely on their own terms. And this is the moment. It just all comes together. As she steps onto his beautiful, secluded island for the very first time, she realizes with this shiver of joy, her imaginary escape has finally become her physical reality. I mean, just look at this transformation. It is absolute. She trades the gray, suffocating world of Doss for the vibrant, technicolor life of Valancy. She exchanges a prison for freedom, fear for joy, and a life of silence for a real partnership. It's night and day. But just as she finds this perfect happiness, A series of stunning revelations come to light that threaten to destroy everything she's built. The very foundations of her new reality start to crumble. Okay, first twist, she finds out the doctor's letter wasn't even for her. It was for another patient with a similar name. There is nothing wrong with her heart. She isn't dying. She has her whole life ahead of her.
And as if that's not enough, twist number 2, she learns that her outcast husband Barney, he's secretly Bernard Redfern, a millionaire's son, and the celebrated nature writer John Foster, the very author whose books gave her her first taste of freedom.
So you can imagine what's going through her head, right? She has to question everything. If she's not dying and he's not some poor outcast, was his love for her just pity? Was any of it real? She's convinced she tricked him into this marriage, and she believes she has to set him free.
But after confronting these unbelievable truths, and even returning to her old home, Valency emerges as this powerful and surprisingly modern heroine, maybe even more so than Montgomery's most famous creation.
And this highlights such a fascinating contrast. Look, we all love Anne of Green Gables, right? The outsider who wins over the world with her charm. But Valency is radical in a totally different way. She takes a good look at society and decides, you know what? It's not worth winning. Her goal isn't to be accepted. Her goal is to be free. Now, eventually, Barney does come for her. He reveals he loved her for who she was all along, not out of pity. But the crucial point still stands. Her journey is this powerful reminder that true liberation isn't about being chosen or accepted by others. It's about choosing yourself, first and foremost, whether you have 1 year left or an entire lifetime.
And that leaves us with a really powerful question, one that resonates just as much today as it did back in 1926. What fears, what appearances, and what expectations would you have to let go of to build your own version of happiness?